When I found you in the wreckage of that ship, I considered leaving you. I was afraid you could bring trouble to us.
I am a child of war. I find warriors to fight with us.
We might stand a chance.
We're searching for soldiers for a fight against the Mother World.
I could help you. For a small fee, obviously.
What the hell was that? What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to YURP Nation Reactions. I am Tyrone, and this is my tiny review for Rebel Moon, A Child of Fire. This film's directed by Zack Snyder and co-written by him, and the story is by him. And it stars Sophie Butella as Cora. Sophia Butella, and Jismin Hanzu, and a whole bunch of other people. And this film was, I guess, it was presented as a Star Wars extender to the universe, to Disney, and then they declined on it. So he took it over to Netflix, and they accepted it. And he already has a good relationship with them.
I think in a lot of ways it's better for the movie that I ended up having to do it outside of the Star Wars universe, because I think that there's a lot of rules that I would have had to have broken of, like, Star Wars canon, for instance.
I don't want no trouble.
But I'm gonna tell you, this was not my cup of tea. I'm not gonna spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it yet. It just came out like 2 days ago. Let me tell you what I did like about this before I get into the cons. The pros about this is the action is directed well, because it's Zack Snyder. You're gonna get some action. Okay. The special effects is pretty good. There is some CGI in here that is kind of loose in this, that you can tell, like, oh, that doesn't look good. But then there's some stuff like, oh, okay, like some of the creature designs in here is really cool. And that's where I can say that's it. Okay. The cons in this, is the story. The story is very convoluted. There's a lot of exposition. Exposition around every single corner, where the story just halts and just freeze frame. The movie stops to tell you what's going on with her past, why she's here on this farm, and then, okay, that stops, and then it goes back to tell a different part of the story, where she's older and she's a part of this imperialism, space Nazis. That's what this is. It's space Nazis, just like with Star Wars with the Empire. But there's things I didn't understand. Like, they have this whole element in here about the kingdom, and I guess the kingdom was bad to a lot of people in the solar system, and but she was a part of the empire to correct it. It's just so much stuff that's so weird about this. The story is, you're telling me so much exposition, but you're not just showing it, right? You're not letting it develop in a good way for certain audiences. So I think Zack Snyder really just expects people to just follow him within this exposition dump in this film, but I just couldn't. I really couldn't. There was a lot of slowdowns. Okay, it was paced so weird, and then apparently there is a 4-hour version of this. Okay, that he says that he's gonna have a director's cut. But why are you gonna have a director's cut? Usually, like with director's cuts, when it comes to the film industry, they do director's cuts, and studios do that to where they cut that movie for, you know, they want to put it in a certain amount of theaters. If it's a 2-hour film, they can put it in more theaters in a movie theater than it be in a 4-hour thing, so they can make more money. You know, when it comes to releasing it in theaters, you know, there's also things that's involved like merchandise and stuff like that, where they can, you know, it all plays a part. But why would you do that with this is on a streaming site like Netflix? Doesn't make any sense to me. But if you're gonna release the 4-hour film, release 4-hour film, because there's parts in this film where you know, it feels very rushed and edited weird, you know, like it was so paced so weird that it flew by, but I didn't get enough information of what's going on in the film, you know. And it's like, dang, we at the end already, and I'm like, okay. This whole ragtag team of people that's teaming up against this empire to help this one farming planet, I'm like, with each and every character, why are they so significant to this story? Why are they really there? You know, I didn't get it until like the very last moment, when something happens, and I don't want to tell you what happens, but where each and every character is like, oh, you're important, you're important, you're important, and you're important. And then things happen to where you're like, I guess they weren't that important because some of them died. Okay, it was crazy, man. But I personally, and then they leave the film off with a cliffhanger where there's one character in this film where I'm really intrigued to see about that side of the story. And I'm like, why does this person have this thing on their head? And I'm like, what? How much time passed, you know? So that's the intriguing thing. So I would hope for a part 2 to be a little bit more streamlined and less exposition, or tell your exposition in a different way. Okay, or because the film comes on and you have big old space dig fucking mountain machine or ship, whatever. It looks like a space dig. Okay, and it's just the ship is just coming through, and then you have a voiceover guy that's just explaining the story, and I'm like, you're not really showing it to me, you're just telling me what this is. It's so weird. It's two things that's wrong with the film industry when it comes to telling someone something. When you have a scroll, like a scroll of telling, reading, having people have to read what's going on, and when you have a voiceover thing immediately in the beginning.
In the third millennium, the world changed. Climate, nations, all were in upheaval. The earth transformed into a poisonous, scorched desert.
I'm like, just show me. Just show me. Get me interested in when I'm looking at it. It's kind of like with the Matrix. No one knew what the Matrix was, right? In the beginning. They just showed the opening shot where you had homegirl just kicking everybody's ass. That's dope. It got me hooked in, you know. But with this, I don't know where he's going, but I will be here to bring another tiny review, man. I'm gonna have to give this, if I'm gonna give this a score, I give it a C. I give it a straight up C. Okay. We don't do scores over on Mostly Wrong Opinions anymore. We just talk about the film and talk about how it connects to other films and things like that. We're going to be taking that channel into different directions instead of just being just a straight up movie review channel. Go over there and subscribe, okay? Because we got some good stuff over there. We might talk about this more in depth because I'm pretty sure you definitely want to know what Devin has to say about this, because I'm a little bit more lenient on Zack Snyder, okay? But he is very, very hard on Zack Snyder. I give him some credit. I give Zack Snyder credit on 300, Watchmen, some of the other stuff. He like the Army of the Dead. I actually like the Army of the Dead, mainly because Dave produced it, you know. But the DC stuff, I can't give him a lot of that. Okay, especially with the Superman character. But with this movie, I feel like he had a good idea, but I don't think it was executed very well. Looks great. It's kind of like with James Cameron. I don't like Avatar: Way of the Water, but it looks beautiful. It wasn't executed really well to me. The pacing was horrible in that film. I mean, when I went to go see that film with a friend of mine. I went to go get some popcorn, went to the bathroom, and that took me like 10 minutes, 15. That took me 15 minutes. They were still in the same scene and the character's still talking. And this almost felt like that. Okay. But it just wasn't interesting, you know. It didn't have enough oomph, you know. And I asked my stepfather about Rebel Moon, and I said, "Did you see it?" He was like, "Yeah, I saw it." I'm like, "Okay, what'd you think?" Because he's a very easy person to entertain. You know, he doesn't overthink things. He doesn't think things in a way of a filmmaker stuff, in a way like I do and Devin does. He's a common, casual viewer of films, and he's like, it didn't have enough oomph for me. I'm like, oomph? It didn't have enough oomph for me, and I see it. The oomph was, it to me, it's just the exposition, man. This exposition in this and the pacing was just so okay. It doesn't mean that Zack Snyder is a bad director. It's just he's good at things that I like, that certain things that I like, but then there's other things I'm not so, you know, a prevalent of. But anyway, that is my my thoughts on Rebel Moon. If you like this video, please hit that thumbs up. It really does help out the channel. And you know, get in the comments, let me know what you thought about all this. I'm sure you guys that are like Zack Snyder's enthusiasts, you guys gonna be like, fuck you stupid. Fine, whatever, fight amongst it yourselves in the comments, okay? I ain't got nothing to do with it. It's my opinion. You can have your opinion, but I don't put my opinion out on you guys. It's just, and I say you need to believe what I believe at all. But yeah, that's about it. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to stay up to date with everything I do right here on Your Nation Reactions. I will be doing a tiny review when the second part comes out, because that one last scene of that, you know, when you see it, that intrigues me. I'm like, okay, I want to know what that's about. You know. But yeah, sorry, Zack, just didn't do it for me. Sorry Zack Snyder fans, it just didn't do it for me. Okay, have a good one. I see you in another video. Peace.